forever. Give us a little. All right, we are live here with Guys Night Podcast.
It is my
President Trump
honor
takes
and
stage after
pleasure
being inaugurated
to
as our
introduce to
47th
you
president.
the 45th
And I'm here
and the
with Edwin
47th
and Dave.
President
Welcome.
of the United
Going on,
States of
guys?
What
America,
up?
Donald
We're going to try to
J.
produce this
Trump.
multiple ways, so be patient with us. But here comes Trump to the stage, so we'll go ahead and let him speak. What's he going to do? The hostages have not been released yet.
What's this button do? Oh, goodbye,
Thank you
Korea.
very much,
Boom.
everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden,
Oh, he did say Biden. I was wondering.
Vice President Harris,
Oh, gave her a
and
shout out.
my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
Let's go.
LFG.
This is going to be interesting too. Like, what's going to happen the first 30 days?
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
That's great. You've got to be really transparent with all this stuff too, I think. Yeah.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. and other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago, or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place,
Hand me a water out of
and
there.
to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
Yes. What you gonna do right now?
Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear.
I mean, it's not.
But I felt then and believe even more so
the way he
now that
describes
my
that
life was
story, like,
saved
the way he just
for a
talks in
reason.
general.
I was
Beautiful.
saved by God to make America
Most
great
beautiful
again.
sight in all of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Most beautiful sight ever in Pennsylvania. You have to have, some humor about that. I mean, you get Survivor, his personality, I think he's pretty immune to, like, Survivor,
Thank you very much.
euphoria.
Yeah.
Like somebody like you or I would get by, like, just crossing the street and dodge traffic, and, you get that, like, oh. So it's like he literally, well, he didn't dodge the bullet, it nicked him, but, like, his personality is like, well, it was Tuesday, so I should have expected this, on to the next day.
We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
Saying it out so well.
Yeah.
Well spoken so far. Thank you, Paul Thompson.
It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states. And the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor. But in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Let's see if he announces it here. I mean, I wanted to let the cat out of the bag, but
national unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that. Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
I missed that, Lisa.
He's going to declare a national emergency at the southern border.
Okay, but here's the thing. That's fantastic, but like this is where the transparency comes out. So what does that mean? Because he's going to flood 200 of these executive orders out there, and people aren't going to necessarily understand what they mean. Which means they're going to be open for interpretation. Which is
all illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release.
Catch and return, let's go.
And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
Wow, that's huge right there.
Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
That's just getting it into power, I'm assuming, these troops in a lot of these scenarios.
Yeah, well, I mean, states will gladly put up state National Guard to go down there. I mean,
You would think. California might not.
Potentially not. No. Well, I mean, they're busy right now.
Invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
That was kind of right.
So he's going to release all JFK files, RFK files, and Martin Luther King files that they're holding. He said it last night. He's going to say it now. But I had to say it first live.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again. And we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. I'm going to use it.
There's a lot of
We
guys
will
out there
bring
that
prices
have-
down,
Yep.
fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world.
Beautiful.
I hope that's good for Ohio. You know, we had a major fracking business
We will be
here,
a
like
rich
way out
nation
Carrollton
again,
County and all that.
and it
that
is
all
that
came to
liquid
a halt
gold
by
under our feet
2019.
that will help to do it. With my
Yeah, that'd
actions
be
today, we
fantastic
will
to
end
get that
the
back.
Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate,
Beautiful.
saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
So hey, those out there that wanted to buy an electric Humvee or Hummer, or the prices are going to go down right now.
Yep.
Like that just fucking killed the EV market.
They're sweet. I mean, I've
Yeah.
driven Teslas, and
In other words, you'll be
they're
able
badass,
to
but,
buy the car of your
I
choice.
don't want to have to buy one of those. Like,
Yeah.
We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service
What?
to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Doge, baby. To the moon. Oh, my stock just got up 20%.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
I mean, we never really totally lost it, but I'd be interested in that includes the media. Like, is he going to do something about the media? Spreading their nonsense and trapping us.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities.
I think he's staying on message, on prompter
This week,
quite a bit. Like,
I will also
he
end
does
the government
respect
policy
the
of
office
trying to
in the
socially
process.
engineer
He-
race
like,
and
you know, he
gender
has
into every
all the
aspect
former-
of public and
all the former presidents alive in attendance and everything. And like, you know, he's definitely taking his shots, but he's talking about the administration as opposed to this is Kamala's fault, this is Joe's fault.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I didn't hear the part where he
As
said
of
IRS
today,
top personnel.
it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Man, there's a lot of angry people right now.
Oh yeah.
Good for them. I mean, it seems like a reasonable suggestion, thing that we spent our whole lives knowing this. You want to do this stuff?
This
It's
just
fine.
in, Rite Aid, Walgreens,
This week,
Walmart
I will
have all
reinstate any
completely
service
sold out
members
of
who
blue
were
hair.
unjustly expelled from our military for
Completely out.
objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay.
That's big.
Is that for military or is that for everybody? I heard he was doing that for the military.
Yeah, military.
And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately.
Yeah, there's not much to that.
Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
In his speech last night at his rally, he was actually playing movie clips from Full Metal Jacket, like unedited. I was like, oh shit, like
Yeah, he's like,
solid.
okay.
Like he was doing in contrast is when they're like playing like the woke shit, or the don't ask, don't tell stuff, and then how they
Like in
opened all that up.
2017, we will
like, no,
again
we're gonna
build
get
the
back to
strongest
this right
military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
I mean, that's what this really comes down to, right? Is like, how fast is he going to be able to put a stop to a ceasefire came down, which is great. But now he's got all the time. I thought
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
Wow. Did you know that?
Yeah, they had 90, that was another thing that hit the news yesterday, is that the first 90, these are hostages that are being held by Israel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the first step in the hostage exchange. So, yeah, they announced 90 of them.
America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name.
What do you think about that, Evan?
Of a
Gulf
great
of America.
president,
You're live right now.
William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
All right.
No opinion, Evan?
Nothing?
No, nothing really.
What are you doing right now? You swiping right?
No, I'm trying to get this. What's it called?
President
Streaming
McKinley
going.
made our country very rich
There's a lot
through
of
tariffs and through talent.
The Gulf of
He was
America.
a natural
I mean, that sounds
businessman
like fantastic.
and gave Teddy Roosevelt the
I would
money for
much rather
many
go
of the
there.
great things he did,
Although-
including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal.
Trump's
We have been treated very badly for
Yeah.
this foolish
Yeah.
gift that should have
second
never
Yeah,
been
I'm
made.
sure they're gonna fucking
And
make
Panama
sure
has
Yeah.
promised
Oh my
to
God,
us
he's in
has been
cognitive
broken.
decline. Day
Yeah.
number one.
The purpose
the
of our
United
deal
States is gonna be on all
and the spirit of our
Yeah,
treaty has
sure.
been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form. And that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal. And we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Oh, there he said it.
Yeah.
I know they gave the Panama Canal away, but I never really understood the ramifications of that. And what are we going to do by taking it back? Like, are we just going to have full control over all the?
Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together, we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
It's like a drone shot now.
Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now, our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken. I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do.
Hey, we got a like on
In America, the impossible is what we do best.
So you mentioned Panama Canal. So
From New York to Los Angeles,
fare to go
from
through
Philadelphia to
partnership is
Phoenix,
somewhere between
from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C.,
the amount of time it takes.
our
them to
country
pass.
was
If you have
forged and built
something
by the
like
generations of
they don't
patriots who
do
gave everything they had
$2,000
for our
Now,
rights and for
I'd have to go
our
back and
freedom.
look it up. There was some dude
They
who
were
swam
farmers and
through it
soldiers,
and also had to pay a
cowboys and
fare. It was the
factory
lowest
workers.
fare ever paid because he just swam through it, and it was like $20 or something. Like it was some nominal fee like that. But
That's funny though.
but in terms of revenue generation, there's somewhere between 30 and 40 passages through the Panama Canal every single day.
So is that money all going to Panama right now, or
Well, it's being operated by China right now. So it's kind of a funky thing because when we built it with like a 99-year lease.
right?
They call that a lifetime, less than lifetime lease because not many people live above 100. So we never really owned it, but we built it. And then at the end of our lease, our agreement was we'd turn it back over to the Panamanian government. And then, of course, China has assumed control. Now, to China's defense, just a little bit, 100%, the highest number of traffic coming through there is coming from China because it's products that are going to Long Beach, San Fran, or the other side of the Orient, I guess. That's what's mostly traversing there, but or their products going from Asia to Europe pass through. They're going that way around the globe.
Our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before.
Hey, it's the title of the podcast.
We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank
Wow.
you.
I thought there was going to be a lot. I thought there was going to be some more stuff out there. I mean, I know he kind of said what I think he went with the big thing for inflation.
Yeah. Well, he's also going to, so he departs from here and he goes to the Capital One Arena.
Yeah.
And so this is unusual, right? They have it indoors here.
Right. Yeah, usually it's like that.
Outside, and there's, probably 100,000 in attendance outside of the Capitol steps, and then
America the Beautiful. Please welcome the Armed Forces
throughout the
and
Capitol
Carrie
Mall and
Underwood.
everything. I mean, shit, when Obama was sworn in the first time, there was, nearly 2 million people out there because, historic first black president, blah, 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 and all that. And I don't think we'll ever get the real numbers, but there's an extra 1.5 million plus people in the DC area. I mean, we almost were there, right?
Yeah, that would
we
have
were
been
talking
epic.
about it.
Yeah, that would have been epic if we went down there for this.
Yeah. I was there during Trump's first inauguration, and there's no room to breathe in the entire city. Like it's for anybody that's ever walked around in, like Manhattan on a street where, in the middle of the day where it's just crazy busy. That's exactly how the entire city was during that. Like there's just nowhere to go, nowhere to move or anything. It's wild.
Oh,
but
sure.
yeah, it's the Rotunda is a beautiful. It's a beautiful building as a whole, but the Rotunda is pretty amazing. I was looking at the stats; it only holds about 600 people. Like that's all that's in that room. There is 600 people, so that's why they split this. Is they put obviously the 600 most important people in the world that were coming are squeezed into that building, and then numbers 601 and beyond are probably outside of the Rotunda. And then but he leaves from here and he goes to Capital One Arena to deliver additional remarks. And there's another 200 and some odd thousand people in that building that would have been, on the steps out there. So,
oh wow, well, this is a disaster right here. It's not. For
those that are
listening, it is dead silent.
Oh, I thought you muted it for a second there.
Can you hear the audience still?
Yeah,
I muted it for people who are watching, but as of right now, they started about 3 seconds of playing "America the Beautiful" before it went to a stop, and now. She's going acapella.
For spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties, above the fruited plain.
Nobody knows where this fucking American building.
Look
at Biden. Look at Biden right now. Look at him. He's like, Biden's like, God damn, I can't stop looking.
Oh my God. In one last, it's like Biden
Look at Kamala. Look at Kamala. She just hates life right now. She hates America.
She hates it so bad.
The Biden's like,
hell yeah. Way to improvise. He's like, fuck it, fuck the music. Let's just do this.
Oh yeah, look at that. Biden's like, okay, don't sniff.
Biden's looking at, what's he looking at right now on his phone? What is he looking at?
Oh man, somebody zoom in.
Oh, he's got a little
Ladies
note
and
card.
gentlemen, Senator Fisher will now introduce the benediction clergy.
What if
I now
Biden
call
all of a
on
sudden
Rabbi
thought like he's
Ari
being
Berman,
inaugurated again?
Pastor
Steps
Lorenzo
up.
Sewell,
Like,
and
I want
Reverend
to thank
Frank
my son.
Munn
Biden.
to provide prayers of benediction.
Let us pray.
I'll give let me mute this real quick. I'll give Trump credit too. Like obviously he's using a teleprompter, but functional. He didn't just stare at the one in front of him. He used the, look at the other ones as well. Because he's a fucking conversationalist. Like, and that was one thing. Like when Biden talked, like even when he was on, that dude had like a death stare on what was in front of him. He just didn't. He just was not there.
Yeah.
And it's just.
Think about the awkwardness of this because when Biden, like I can appreciate, when somebody's the bigger man, because that's a difficult thing to do as a man. Like, whether you're right or wrong, but when you believe and you feel a certain way so passionately, like it could be difficult to go back to the well of your pride to try and find a different path to do something, right? So in 2020, not to start the stolen election discussion all over again, because that's watered down. But Trump was not in attendance for Biden's swearing in, like wasn't going to do it, just like left with a big fuck you, and we're going to continue to fight this in court. And then here we are, and there is a high amount of pageantry involved in all politics, right?
Like, especially at this kind of a ceremony, it's similar to like Queen or the King being elected. Like there's just that's
Well, so Jimmy Carter just passed, and so to see them all like sitting together and playing nicely, at the funeral and everything like that was really like preamble to coming here, and there they are sitting right across from each other, and like, so I give both men a lot of credit there, outside of the pageantry of just the appearance of the rhetoric and everything, but here they are just standing by each other while one's leaving. It's like is there trash talk behind the scenes, like shake hands on the camera, like bye loser, don't forget to take your Geritol.
Come on. By the way, did you see all the Kamala? Did you see the AI Kamala videos where she's like walking down the street and it's like unemployed, drinking a beer and like a bra? Dude, those are fucking great. I was dying laughing.
There's the AI and the memes. It's like it's just at epic level, like the ones where they show them at the parties, like with like the eyes wide shut vibe.
Yeah.
Or like here's Elon with like a dog and all these different things. Like. So this is the first time that this inauguration has been held indoors since 1985 when Reagan was sworn in. And the video they're showing the ceiling, it's amazing. But yes, first time. So in '85 when Reagan was being sworn for his second term, it was a brisk, like I think it was 7 degrees out that day. Like it's not that cold in DC today. I say it's not that cold relatively.
Well, because it's 1 degree here in Ohio.
We woke up to 1, and it's going to be minus 12 tomorrow here. So it's outside here. It's MFC.
Right.
MFC is motherfucking cold. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a little wild that it's 27 degrees there. I could have done this outdoors, but I don't know. Makes me wonder if maybe there's another reason. Maybe security or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That you will use our 47th president, so we would sing with new meaning, my country.
Oh, he's passionate.
'Tis of thee.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet land land of liberty of thee I sing.
Okay.
Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside.
Get it.
Let freedom ring, and because America is called to be a great nation, we believe that you will make this come true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York,
This dude's been practicing
let
this
freedom
whole
ring.
life. Like,
From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania,
oh yeah.
let
I'm
freedom
sure he
ring.
just rose up there a little
From
bit.
the
Like, he just stepped
snow-capped
out of school to
Rockies
make
of
sure it had that effect.
let freedom ring. From the curvaceous hilltops of California, but God, we're asking you not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill
freedom,
and
and he
every
loves to let it
molehill
ring.
Yeah,
in
in the mountains. Don't
Mississippi,
forget about
from
the
every
beach, homeboy.
state, every city, every
Don't forget
village, and
about
every
Ohio
hamlet.
farmlands, dude.
And when we let
You
freedom
feel left out,
ring, we
Raiders?
A
will
little
be
bit.
able to speed up that day for all of your children, black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic,
What about
Jew and Gentile,
brown, yellow?
will be able to sing
Whoa,
in
racist.
the meaning
Yeah.
of that old Negro spiritual. Free
Whoa.
at last. Free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last. If you believe where the Spirit of the Lord is,
Hey,
there
don't
is
forget, we
liberty.
had
Come
Chinese
on,
slaves
put
here
your
too, buddy.
hands together and give your great God great glory.
Okay, man.
Wow.
That was something else.
That was,
I mean, I felt like I just went to church. Did you go to church,
was-
Evan? What are you doing over there?
Searching around.
yeah, he's watching reels.
I'm looking at reels of the presidency right now.
We're watching it live, Evan. You don't need the reels.
I like the reels.
Almighty and eternal God, we gather here today in reverence, joined in our shared hopes and
A lot of
dreams
praying going on.
for our beloved nation. In this sacred moment of the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, we turn our hearts to you, seeking your divine assistance and abundant blessings upon this pivotal moment in history. We come before you with profound gratitude for the many gifts you have bestowed upon our land. Thank you for the freedoms we cherish, for the strength of our communities, and for the resilience of our spirit. As our President and Vice President embrace their newly appointed roles, we humbly implore that your everlasting love and wisdom will envelop them. Grant them the clarity of mind to navigate the challenges that lie ahead and the compassion to serve all citizens with fairness and integrity. May their hearts be filled with a giving spirit and sincere understanding for those whom they represent. May they be beacons of hope in times of uncertainty and prophetic voices in defending the dignity of all created life. We pray for a spirit of collaboration to flourish in our government and across our nation, fostering an environment where dialogue and heartfelt listening will prevail over division or discord. May each decision made by our President and Vice President reflect the values of justice and peace. As we embark on this new chapter, we also seek your comfort, O God, for those who feel lost or disheartened. In this time of transition, may your light shine upon them, reaffirming their belief in a brighter tomorrow. May we all strive to lift one another, supporting our fellow citizens with kindness and empathy, recognizing that together we can overcome any adversity. Grant us the strength to endure, the courage to face our fears, and the clarity to see the light that remains, even when clouds of uncertainty may gather.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it one at a time.
Inspire our new leaders to be champions for the vulnerable and advocates for those whose voices are often silenced. May they pursue policies that promote the well-being of all, seeking to build bridges that will foster unity and belonging.
All right. Well, while they're praying,
As we stand witness to the
let me just pull some stuff up. So, all right, here's according to the New York Times, expected tariffs, which some of these have already been touched on today. So, immigration and border, close the border, asylum seeking immigrants and asylum and birthright citizenship. So that's a big one. Any birthright citizenship. No more just coming over here, popping out a baby and leaving it behind. President cannot change the Constitution of his own, so it's not clear how he plans to end the guarantee of citizens for those born in the United States with the 14th Amendment. Involved U.S. military and border security disputed immediate legal challenges because of the strict limits of American law for how armed forces can be deployed. But I would imagine that we're talking about invading forces, right? So at that point, if they're technically considered an invading force, then I would imagine we'd be able to do that, which is part of this next part, declare migrant crossings against the border to be a national emergency, which allowed to unilaterally unlock federal funding for border wall construction without approval from Congress, restrict their enforcement efforts, designate drug cartels as global terrorists. We heard about that. I did not hear this. End remote work policies and order many agencies back to office 4 to 5 days a week. That's for the federal workforce.
Yep.
But I don't see any reason not to do that. Gender and diversity, we talked about this, establishing that there are 2 genders, establish biological sex definitions for federal workers, and as part of the revised Title 9 guidance for schools. Remove protections for transgender people in federal prisons, and protections for transgender migrants in U.S. custody. Tariffs and trade, direct federal agencies to begin investigation of trade practices, including trade deficits, unfair currency practices, counterfeit goods, and special exemption for that allows low-value goods to come in the United States tariff-free. So that's interesting. Special exemption will allow low-value goods. So essentially, all the cheap shit you find in PayPal.
Yep.
Which actually, as I say that out loud, that kind of gives me that feeling of like, okay, so you're trying to help like small businesses and things like that are working t-shirts and stuff online, maybe, and keep them floating without ruining. But then when it comes to like Samsung, Sony, or anything like that, you're gonna pay the tariffs on it. Order the government to assess the feasibility of creating an external revenue service to collect tariffs and duties. So an ERS versus the IRS. We'll talk about that. Energy and environment, declare national emergency, allowing them unlock powers to speed permitting for pipelines. So those my brother-in-law who works on pipelines, he's probably excited about that because that'll probably get him back to work faster. Order the federal government to roll back regulations that impede domestic energy production. Signal an intention to loosen the limits on tailpipe pollution and fuel economy standards, so you can still drive your jalapeno down the road with your fucking tailpipe falling off, and it's okay. Roll back energy efficiency regulations for dishwashers, shower heads, and gas stoves. That's interesting. Open the Alaskan wilderness to more oil and gas drilling. Eliminate environmental justice programs across the government, which are aimed at protecting poor communities. So obviously this is the New York Times, right? So they've got to throw in their little slant. Eliminate environmental justice programs across the government, which are aimed at protecting poor communities from excess pollution. I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
And then delaying the ban on TikTok, which we've already seen that happen.
So who bought TikTok?
Nobody bought it. They just delayed the ban. Oh, here we go. Who's coming to speak now?
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain at your seats while the president and official party depart the platform.
Oh, they're bouncing.
They're bouncing.
They're bouncing.
Oh man, I wanted to see Biden at least do one more thing.
Definitely do one more thing. Biden's probably like, I can finally die now. They've been keeping me alive for 4 years. I just want to go to fucking bed and not wake up. He's like, you don't know what it's like living next to fucking Jill all your life. This crazy bitch wants me to fucking live to 100 on fucking 200 medicines.
Biden, look at his face.
Oh, Vivek back there.
I just want to know what's going through all their minds right now.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously you have a lot of people here that are not really anybody that's going to be affected. Like I read today, like Bezos was there, obviously Elon's there. You got a bunch of billionaires and and they're there, just to kind of show one
Thanks.
support, but two, he wanted to make sure they were in the building. I read because he wanted to make sure that the world saw this as like, hey, motherfuckers, we're gonna we're uniting. Like, we're gonna do this together. I'm gonna get everybody involved. I think his speech was very transparent.
Here on Fox News Channel, you've been watching the inauguration of Donald.
Thanks, Fox News, for allowing us to borrow your live stream there. But yeah, I think that he was very clear and concise. Like you said, he didn't necessarily go out and say, "Hey, look, it's your fault. It's your fault." No, we're just going to do this, and we're going to do it together. Peace, unity. I think he really focused on the things that people want to hear. So hopefully, yeah, we can make America.
It's gonna be very interesting. I hope for like the next few months we start seeing the acts of presidency. This like the tariffs start going into effect, and like a lot of things that he says he'll do. Hopefully, they started taking effect immediately.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think that
he talked about that last night in his address, where he said that again, some of it is some of his showmanship, but he was saying, some people were saying, no, we shouldn't take such immediate action coming in office. We, because that could be bad press, right? Like, oh yeah, he came in and he did all these things. He said, we have so much fucking work to do that we're not waiting. Like every day we're going to be doing stuff like this. And I think that'll be part 2 with this as he goes to Capital One Arena, as he's probably going to sit there and start signing. So basically that's what Biden did when he was inaugurated, was literally once he swore in, he went, and if you remember, he went and he sat down and immediately started signing orders, and they were doing press releases on the spot right there. And I think that's going to be the same thing. He didn't talk about it, but I mentioned it because he said it last night, like very specifically. RFK, JFK, Martin Luther King. He's releasing all of those files, all of it. And then what I think it'll be interesting, because he did say also that the J6 convictions, he's overturning all of those. He's going to pardon and commute all of those. So I think that'll happen today. And then, to your point, Evan, I think it'll be real interesting to see all of these things very quickly go into effect.
Can you imagine you've been sitting there in prison for the last year and a half? Like, God, I hope fucking Trump wins. Fuck all you guys that have the ability to vote. Please vote for Trump. All I did was go to the freaking protest. I didn't do anything. I walked inside, and now I'm sitting here and I can't imagine what it would be where the world is against you in that scenario.
For anybody that did anything violent and any sort of destruction and whatnot, you absolutely, you deserve your sentence and all of that. But for the people that were just there and sort of following along with the crowd and allowed to go in, if you're driving down the highway and like an armored car flips over and like money is spewing out of it, like you see on TV,
right?
If you're out there picking up money and putting it in your pocket, you're committing a felony right then and there. And if it's, a bank insured armored transport, it could even be bank robbing, right? Which would become a federal offense at that point. You could spend a lot of time in prison for it.
Didn't that happen in California? Like
it's happened. It's
2 years ago, where someone left the back door open and a federal bank truck, and the money was just spewing out on the highway.
It's happened. And so literally, stopping and like you would see on TV and collecting, that's a crime. And so, should you be put in prison for the rest of your life for it? No, but that is a crime. Like, even if you took the money and you went home and then the next day you decided, I should return this, and you hand all the money back, you've still committed the crime. You cannot undo the crime at that point. But by happenstance, if you're seeing a bunch of people just being able to freely walk into a building and they're not actively being stopped by the police, again, if you go in and you're doing something violent, that's a different story, as opposed to, oh well, it's the people's building, it's public property, like everybody's going in, I guess we're going in. Like, is your intent to go in and take a selfie with that one guy with the what do they call what do they call that?
The
guy?
Viking or
The
whatever.
Viking.
Yeah.
You're like, I want my picture taken with him taking a crap on Nancy Pelosi's desk. I mean,
Oh
first of
my
all, I don't
gosh.
know that I could resist the urge for that, first of all, but but yeah, if you're just going in for fun, if you're going in for mayhem, that's different. But yeah, to your point, there's people that have been unjustly locked up, and we need to move on, because we got people that are here committing very serious crimes that are very dangerous people, and they need to go. And speaking of needing to go, you need to go.
Yes, I do.
Get the hell out of
I
here.
do. I gotta go. Mom broke her leg. Needs to go to the doctor. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. But for anybody that joined us, like the stream, a couple of you guys commented. Thank you very much. As always, Dean, appreciate you being a big fan. Yeah, so I'm sure we'll have more on all this as the next couple of days roll out. Maybe we'll do another one. But while we were rearranging the studio a little bit, we figured we'd go live and see what happens. So thanks anybody that joined, and everybody have a good day.
Peace.
Take care.
Yeah. In the warehouse.